Welcome back to Lewis Acres Homestead. I'm Sarah for those of you that are new here, and today I thought I would bring you guys along as I can some tomatoes. Every summer, I look forward to tomato season. After months of watering, weeding, and waiting, this is the reward. Today, I'm using 20 pounds of tomatoes from our garden, and I'm going to make homemade pasta sauce. By the end of the day, it will be turned into 7 quarts of pasta sauce. And that may not sound like much, but they do cook down a lot. In our garden this year, we grew Roma tomatoes as the majority. We planted 24 plants, and then we planted 2 cherry tomatoes, 2 old yellow Germans, and then 2, I believe they were Mr. Stripeys, which we really have not even got much off of them. But the bulk of this recipe comes from our Roma tomatoes just because that is what we are getting the most of right now. And like I said in my videos this year, I'm not really sure how many tomatoes we're going to get just because they are starting to die pretty quick. But I've canned tomatoes twice so far this year, and I've gotten 15 quarts of sauce off of our tomatoes this year. So it is coming around, but this right here is 20 pounds from our tomatoes. I'm making just a basic pasta sauce today. It's just usually we use it on spaghetti or some sort of pasta dish that requires some red sauce with seasoning. So it's very simple, but I do have the link to it down below. It's on my blog. I have been made this for probably 2 years now, maybe 3, and it is our favorite just because I cook it down a lot longer, so it does get thicker. But if you like a more thin sauce, then just don't cook it down as long. This has been one of those gardening years where you just really wonder if it's worth it or not. We've dealt with a lot of pests, a lot of plant disease, and this gardening season has just been really tricky. So it's one of those years where we really have not gotten much out of the garden so far, and I've replanted a ton just because a lot of plants died very early on. So our cucumbers are only about 6 inches tall right now, and I have not even canned pickles. Typically, I've already done all my pickle canning this year and would have already had the cellar shelves stocked with pickles and ready to go for this winter. But like I said, they just died really early on and we didn't get much off of them. So I did end up replanting them. So we are going to get some pickles, but it will just be coming a little bit later. And I know that you guys want to see my pickle recipe. I got several comments about that, and I will share it as soon as we get some pickles. But since it has been such a challenging and slow gardening year for us, it really makes these days of getting to put up the harvest a little bit more special because you've really put in the work for it. So we've put in the time watering, weeding, and just trying to take care of the plants. But it's just one of those years where things happen and they just are not working out. We don't understand really why they're not working out, but like I've mentioned before, we are going to try and figure it out next year. And I've been doing a lot of research just to try and learn, but it does make the harvest a little bit more special, and you just cherish what you do get a little bit more. As most of you know, I do prefer to do bulk canning days, what I call it. So that is just where I will get all of the garden harvest at one time, like all of the tomatoes or something, and I'll put a huge pot on and get it simmering down and do like 14, sometimes even more quarts in one day of like sauce. But this year we're having to do that in smaller quantities. So it's not how I prefer to do my canning, but we're making do and being thankful for what we are getting, because it's so easy to just give all the tomatoes away or whatever and not put up any of the harvest. But I think it's really important, even on these slower years, to still put up what you can, because come winter, you're going to be thankful that you have that stockpiled in your pantry. So that is also another reason why I stress so much that if you're getting extra of something one year, to go ahead and put it up. I mean, if it's way too much to do yourself, I do give it away. But on the years where we have an abundance, I will can whatever I need to can extra that year, just in case we don't get harvest the following year. And that is a prime example for this year, because we have not really gotten much of anything hardly out of our garden. but that is okay. I'm still working on just putting up what we do get as it comes in out of the garden. In my opinion, even canning smaller batches or just smaller quantities of food that you're getting from your garden is still worth it because you're still in control of what is happening to your food. And that is one of the biggest reasons that we enjoy canning, is because we know what is going onto our plants. We know that we're not using any pesticides. We know the proper care that they're getting. And then we also can control the ingredients. So we can buy the best ingredients that we can, add them in so that it has flavor, and it just gives you all of the control and all of the power over your food. So I do think that it is worth it. So I'm still sticking with the canning this year. It may just not be, our cellar is overflowing this year. Our shelves may not be as full come winter, and that is perfectly fine. We can always resort to going to the grocery store, and I haven't decided yet. I may still go to the produce auction. The produce auction, it used to be somewhere that you could go to get cheaper food. So a lot of it is imported. Don't get me wrong. Some of the smaller farms here in our area will send their food to be sold at the produce auction. But after going for a couple years now and just noticing and seeing things, you really start to learn that it's really not all that different than going to the grocery store, because it's still coming from these commercial farms and being shipped into that produce auction. So when you buy it, you have no idea what that food has been sprayed with or anything like that. And 99% of the time, it is not organic. Anytime that I've ever been to the produce auction, it's not marketed as organic. So you have to kind of assume that it has been sprayed before. And I've not been to the produce auction this year, but one of my friends went, and she was talking about how high the prices are now. That is due to people buying at the produce auctions and then reselling. So we see it all the time. And I only think there's something wrong with it if you are marketing it as if you sell it that if you grew it yourself. But there's a lot of local people that go to the produce auction and then they buy the produce, set up on the side of the road, and they sell the produce at farm stands and stuff and just market it as if they grew it themselves and if it came out of their garden. I just think that's wrong because it's not being truthful. So I don't know, it's getting tricky to find good sources for organic produce, especially just because the prices are going up so much. So by the time you buy it at the produce auction, it's honestly not worth it, especially this year. I don't know, we was talking about the prices and it's just really gone up. So I probably will not go to the produce auction this year. I'll continue to get what we can from the garden and take advantage of every little bit that we get and preserve it the best that I can. Even though our garden is producing a lot slower this year, I'm still so thankful for those 20 pounds of tomatoes because they turned into these 7 quarts of sauce for us. It may not seem like much because it does get cooked down quite a bit, and you would get more because I think this is a 16-quart pot and it was almost full whenever it was first filled. So if you don't let it cook down, you will get more, but also you're gonna have a thinner sauce. But either way, the way that I like to look at it is that this is 7 meals. So this will turn into spaghetti 7 different times for us. And it's 7 jars that are going down to the cellar that will later create a meal for us. And it's 7 less things that I have to buy from the grocery store. So it's something that we've raised here on our farm. We know exactly what happened to it, how it was handled, and we know exactly what is in these jars. So we don't have to worry about it at the end of the day. During winter, there is something so rewarding about going down to the cellar, getting a jar of food that you have previously canned during summer or fall, and you just get to open it and have a home cooked meal, something that you worked so hard for. There's just something so rewarding about that because you have put your hands to it, and it's just so special to know that you made this, and it's just a from scratch home cooked meal. One thing that I love most about canning is it is a skill that grows with you over the years. And I always get asked how to get started on canning. And I would just say that you don't have to learn it all at once. So in this video, you're really supposed to water bath can tomato sauce or like pasta sauce. but my canner was too short. So I just went ahead and pressure canned it instead. That is perfectly fine. You just have to adjust your times, and you can always like reference a book. But whenever I first started canning, that would have made me freak out, and I would have had to go down to the cellar, go get another canner, get another one set up, and I wouldn't have just pressure canned it because the recipe did not say to do that. But here I am 8 or 9 years later and am totally comfortable with canning like this. So it's always adaptable, and you continuously learn with canning, and you learn new tricks, new things, and the rules change almost every year. So if you are a beginner, don't be afraid to try it. But that is going to be it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys will like and subscribe.